Hey folks, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a technique that a viewer sent to me. Todd Newmiller sent me an email about this process and I was fascinated. What this involves is lasering a really deep pattern and a piece of coarse steel on both sides and pressing in some copper into that pattern. It can do really clear, beautiful designs. So we're going to give this a shot. Since I don't have a laser powerful enough to do this, Todd was nice enough to laser a couple pieces of steel for me. This is 80 CRV, it's 3/16 thick, and I asked him to go a 1/16 of an inch thick because I didn't want to take this out when I did the bevel on a knife, so I wanted to make sure it went in pretty deep. But so that's a pretty cool pattern. And he did this shark, which I think is amazing. I really love this one. And he was even nice enough to do the Triple T podcast and my logo on a little challenge coin. And he even sent the copper to do this. So we're going to stack this up. We'll start with this one, stack it up, put some sacrificial steel on the outside, and see if we can get the copper to go into all the spaces. So here's a little test piece that Todd did himself. I just etched this lightly in some gator piss heavy, and you can see it looks really cool. Just some awesome detail to it, so I'm anxious to try this out. So I've surface ground the core piece on both sides just to make sure it's nice and clean. I've got 2 pieces of mild steel for the cladding because we're going to grind all that off anyway, and we're just going to combine it with our copper like this, and then I'm going to use the laser welder to weld this up, and then we'll get it in the forge. Check out how clean those welds are with the laser welder. Very cool. Well, that seemed to work okay. I didn't want to reduce it too much because I'm only using the core here. So I didn't want to make the core too thin. So hopefully it's just over 1/8. Now it's time to grind off all the cladding and see if our copper went into all the holes. Man, that was a lot of grinding, but we got it down to the copper and it looks really good. There's still a few spots of copper, but this is still pre-heat treat, so I got more grinding to do anyway. It did come out kind of thin. It's just under 1/8 of an inch, so that kind of precludes me from doing a hunting knife or a bowie. So we got a lot of steel here, so I'm going to do a full tang chef knife. And I need to keep the copper off the edge, so I'm going to make sure the edge is kind of below that, which is why I had Todd put them a little higher on the bar. But I think I'm going to do something like this, so you'll see them kind of here along the top of the spine. All right, looks good. Let's drill some holes. So I just drilled the 2 pinholes. I've decided, since there's some copper on one side here that I need to grind down, I'm actually going to do a tapered tang, so that'll take off that copper, and I didn't need to drill any other holes because the tapered tang will take care of it. It's white right now because I put some anti-scale on it because it's going to go in the oven for some normalization and thermocycling. And 80 CRV scales really badly, so hence the anti-scale. So here's the knife out of temper. Heat treat went well. It's perfectly straight. So let's take it to the surface grinder, clean it up a bit, and then I'll do the tapered tang. So we got the tapered tang done. You can see that it's got a really nice taper. So now it's time to do the bevels. My hope here is that I don't grind too much of the bottom of this pattern off by doing bevels. The cool thing is, you can't quite see it because I have layout fluid on the top, but you can actually see some of the checkerboard on the spine, which I think is really cool. So I got the blade sanded to 400. I'll do final strokes at 800. But before that, I want to move on to handle scales and talk about those. So I'm going to be using this copper carbon fiber, which I love. And I'm going to be coffee etching the blade black. And I want the spine and all around the handle to be that same black. So I'm going to be using some Corby bolts. The final one will have these copper Corbys. But in order to shape the handle, I'm going to be using just a set of sacrificial Corbys that I'll then remove and use the finals. So let's get the handles cut out and drilled. So just the carbon fiber wasn't quite thick enough here, so I added 2 layers of G10 sandwiched around just a piece of copper. So I think that will show it off nicely. Now I just got to trim this up, do the front, and then we'll router the edges, and we're almost there. So I got the handles all finished. The blade has been hand sanded up to 800. I'm ready to put it in the coffee. That's going to make this blade jet black, except for the copper, of course. And then we'll slap the handles on it, put the Corbys on it, and you guys will see what the final thing looks like. Thanks for joining me on this build, folks. Big thanks to Todd Newmiller for giving me the idea for this and helping me with all the processes and giving me the material. So big thanks, Todd. Love the outcome. Hopefully you guys do too. And we'll see you on the next one.